Hello and welcome to another episode of the CFS Health Recovery Podcast. I am your host, Toby Morrison, and in today's podcast, I am answering a question from a member of the public, and I'm going to do my best to answer it within 10 minutes. So I'm going to read the question and then let's get into it. I'm not sure who this person is. There's no name here. It says, sometimes I just go and lie on my bed because I'm so bored and then I fall asleep. I know if I do anything active, I will get pain and fatigue as a result. Even doing a jigsaw puzzle, even just sitting up for 30 minutes. So I have to rest all the time and it gets so boring. That's why you end up scrolling on your phone and PC all day. What do I do? All right. This is a good question. So, what do I do when I'm bored? Basically, is the question. And there's two parts to boredom that's really important to answer. So, let's talk about the fun boredom and then let's talk about the not fun boredom. The fun boredom is when you're doing the right things and you're actually, working on your recovery, you're doing everything right. You actually progress to a new level and the day-to-day doings of what you're doing become boring and you actually have energy to be bored. Now, that's a great sign that you're actually ready to progress a little bit. On the other hand, what this lady's talking about is the not so good boredom, the not so fun boredom, where it sounds like you don't have a routine and structure. You don't have a baseline. You're kind of going, you don't really have anything. You kind of just like you wake up, you go, I don't know what to do today, and then you don't do anything basically. Well, you do stuff like scrolling on your phone all day and being on the PC, which is doing stuff, which is probably not that useful for you, your life, and your recovery. So the goal is to get to the fun boredom because, we see this inside our mentorship 3.0. When members start working with us, we want them to get to good boredom because it's a great sign that what they were doing was not that easy. It was kind of hard. And now what they're doing has become easy and it's actually kind of boring, which is a great sign. Like I said, it's a good, sure sign that you're ready to progress to the next level with more activity that's appropriate for you. If you think about this boredom piece where it's the not so good boredom, where it's kind of self-sabotage, you're going around in circles, you don't really know, like you said, if you do too much or if you do a jigsaw puzzle, if you sit up out of bed for 30 minutes, that's not good, but then you end up laying down and doing nothing. That's not good either. Now, I'm not saying that as a blanket statement of like it's not good to do nothing. Sometimes the best thing to do is to do nothing. And then other times, the best thing to do is to do something appropriate for you. And so, this is the key word here, appropriate. What is appropriate? We don't want you to get to the point of more pain and more fatigue, but we want you to be able to do stuff with where you're currently at with your current health. And what I mean by that is ultimately baseline fundamentally means doing what you can without feeling any worse than you actually do right now. So yeah, you're not going to feel good to start with. Like you're not going to feel energized. You're not going to feel amazing. You're not going to feel great. You're going to feel how you're currently feeling because that's your current reality. But in order to change that over time, you need to start with where you're at. And this is why we have such a big emphasis on building your capacity appropriately for where you're at right now. I have a saying, you can't wait to get better. You have to start getting better now to get better later. And what I mean by that is basically you sitting there and waiting for you to change how you feel and just hoping that one day things are going to be different never happens. You'll be waiting for the rest of your life. And this is why you can't wait to recover. You have to start now to recover. You have to start now to start getting better in order to recover later. And so this is what happens when you start working on your health and the fundamentals and you start building your capacity over time. Guess what happens? You are way better at adapting to stimuli, which means that you have more capacity, which means you can do more without feeling any worse than you currently do. What happens over time? Your health goes up, your symptoms go down. Your health maintains, your symptoms go down. So my suggestion for you or anyone at home who is kind of at this level of procrastination and you're stuck in this vicious self-sabotage kind of cycle, and I'm not saying it's your fault. This isn't to beat yourself up and go, oh, like it's my fault, or Toby Morrison saying it's my fault. I'm not saying that at all. It's not your fault. You haven't been taught, and this is why CFS Health started almost 2 decades ago, is because there was zero practical help in the world. So CFS Health's job is to make sure we bring practicality to the world of recovery in and for chronic fatigue syndrome and other associated illnesses. First and foremost, you need a baseline, right? And what that means is you need a routine and structure that is appropriate for your current capacity that you can build upon and that you can do almost daily. What does that mean? Well, you said before, like, I can't sit up for more than 30 minutes, or I can't do it, if I do a jigsaw, I feel worse. What would it look like if you just sat up for 2 minutes? What would it be like for you if you just did a jigsaw for 3 minutes? Would that be appropriate? Maybe you wouldn't be any more fatigued or in pain than you currently are anyway, which would mean that that's an appropriate amount of activity that you can do. Now, through your daily routine and structure, you want to make sure that you have your set meal times every single day. You have your appropriate rest times and energy in activities. And what that basically means is doing activities that actually bring you energy, right? Re-energize your system, whether that's calming your nervous system. This is through breathing exercises, nervous system movements and exercises that help calm the nervous system. It can be through music, meditation. It can be through food. That's a form of energy in, right? So there's a million different things you can choose to do. And we have a whole list inside our program of people they can choose, and a whole bunch of trainings that you can literally choose based off where you're at and what you need to be doing. The key concept, and again, we're only going to do this for 10 minutes. Like, this is a freaking 2-hour presentation that I could workshop on. But just for the sake of this, the key word that you want to use here is appropriate. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're at stage 1 or you're in stage 3. There's still the word appropriate that you need to use based off where you are at. Okay. Your goal is to create a routine and structure that is doable for you and enables you to maintain your health where it's currently at. That will help you get to good boredom. Once you're consistent enough and this becomes your new daily normal, you'll be like, I'm doing this and this has become easy. And that's a great sign. What we want to avoid is that procrastination boredom where we end up scrolling on Facebook or Netflix or whatever for the entire day. And the day goes by. Inside the mentorship, we have a custom daily planner that we send out to all our members when they enroll in the mentorship. And it's this brilliant custom daily planner that literally helps you have better days. Why am I telling you this? Well, have you ever noticed that if you don't plan your day, the day plans you? Yeah, we want to avoid that. Now, I'm not saying to have a to-do list longer than, the food list in your pantry, but to have set intentions each day that, again, are in line with your routine and structure is going to be a brilliant place to start. 1, at least write down the things that you don't want to do. And then 2, write down the things that you want to do more of. So for this particular lady, obviously being on your PC all day isn't smart. So what are some other activities that would bring more energy in and energize you and restore energy in so that you can do and live more appropriately based off where you're at? And the progression cycle starts to happen as you start to maintain your new level of capacity for at least a period of 2 to 4 weeks. And then you progress from there based off the situation of how you're feeling on a general level. If your health is maintaining, it's a sure sign that, again, you can slightly appropriately increase based off where you're at. And the cycle then continues. You'll maintain and then you'll progress. You'll maintain and then you progress. We have a thing called the Progress Masterclass where we talk about the 4 levels of the 4 different aspects of progress in each area of your life. And then you can build upon that depending on your goals, whether it's like cognitive, physical, emotional, or spiritual. So I hope this helps just a little bit. Your goal is to aim for good boredom, not necessarily the procrastination boredom. And usually the procrastination boredom is a sign that you're actually just off track. And that's not a bad thing. Being off track is usually good information because it just simply helps you get back on track faster. Again, if you're doing this on your own, you're probably just you're probably going around in circles. It's probably a lot of guesswork. You're probably isolated. You're probably lonely. And this is why coaching is so important. This is why getting outside perspective and help, not your family member or friend, because let's face it, no one wants to take advice from family members or friends. It never works. You need outside perspective to help you shift into something that's more useful and more appropriate for you and basically on the path to where you want to go in your future. And I'm going to leave you with this. Where do you want to go in your future? I'm assuming that, yeah, you might have wishes and dreams, but like you might not fundamentally have somewhere or a pathway or a true vision that you are actually moving towards. If you don't have something that you're moving towards, it's very hard to stay focused and on track on what you're actually trying to do day to day, because it's like, well, what's the point? I may as well just scroll on the PC because I've got nothing to aim for. So I would start reverse engineering from the top and go, okay, what is my dream? What is my vision? What am I actually doing this for? Like, what am I working for? Right? We have an annual set yourself up for success every single year. I can't wait. It's the 8th of January for all of our members in 60 countries. Literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of members are going to have a clear path and a plan towards what they're working on, where they want to go in their life, their dreams and their visions. And so start with that, and then that'll help you with the day-to-day stuff, especially when it is boring. And, we need to make boring sexy again. I think there's just too much hype on the internet of like, get this whiz-bang plan and overnight success and all this crap. And you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like, that doesn't work, right? Make boring sexy again. I have a saying, hit the singles daily, stop trying to hit home runs. The progress is in the process, and that is in the daily doing. I hope this helped. Sending you a big love. And of course, if you need more help with this stuff, reach out to the team and we'll get you started this week. Bye for now.